Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be in conversation with Marta Giralt, and she's in Ireland, and she's going to talk about her virtual exchange. But before we get stuck in, Marta, please introduce yourself and tell us who you are, what your role is, and which institution you're from.
Hello, I'm Marta Giralt. I work in the University of Limerick in the School of Applied Linguistics and Modern Languages. I teach mainly applied linguistics or language classes as well of Spanish. Also, I teach intercultural communication, and that's probably one of the areas that I enjoy the most, I should say. And that's the module I'm going to be talking about. It would be under that area.
Okay, so Marta, you're a virtual exchange enthusiast. In fact, we've been working a long time together, right back from the Erasmus Plus virtual exchange project. So more recently, your students have been taking part in a CLiVEx VE project. What does that stand for, and what is this? Can you briefly outline what that stands for, and what is this virtual exchange?
Yeah, so CLiVEx is a virtual exchange that works with the climate movement. So that's the area that the students work on when they are engaging in the virtual exchange. I think one of the aims is to develop their sustainability competence. So that's a very interesting concept. So they really talk about climate change and the climate movement at the moment, and all the challenges and also the differences depending on where you are in the world, how this is affecting, and this is quite revealing sometimes, because I suppose we are all very concerned, but from our own point of view and where we are, and things are very different across the world. So that's, I suppose that's one of the things that the virtual exchange brings.
I will ask you about the structure and content, but you were telling me before that this climate virtual exchange is embedded in your course. So how does that work?
Yeah, we have this module entitled Communication Across Cultures. And we teach students about intercultural communication, and we are trying to develop their intercultural competence through the course. But obviously, in our lectures, we just give them some theory, maybe some practice as well. But that's where, through the virtual exchange, we ensure that the students have the more experiential situation, that they have to talk to students in other universities across Europe, and also the southern Mediterranean areas. So then it brings the real thing into the course, and they can see some of the theory that we cover in the classes applied in the interactions.
So Marta, you're at the University of Limerick, and CLiVEx is made up of a consortium. Who coordinates this virtual exchange, and what's Limerick's role? Are you a partner, a part of the consortium? What's the situation?
So the consortium actually is coordinated by UNIMED, and we are not one of the partners in the consortium. We are just associate partners. I think there is around 14 or 15 associate partners, which are all the universities that we actively participate in our students participate in the virtual exchanges.
I see. So you've done one iteration with your students. Can you tell us a bit about, and it was embedded in your course, so can you tell us a bit about the structure and the content, and who your students interacted? Who were they collaborating with?
Yeah, so the exchange lasts for 9 weeks, and our students have to interact with all the other students that participate synchronously once a week, during a 2-hour meeting that is facilitated by somebody provided, but sharing perspectives, which is it's a foundation that is providing the exchange. And yeah, so the students have this synchronous interaction, but also they have other activities that they have to do before they have the session, just in terms of preparation, and then also they do a reflective sort of diary after the exchange. Yeah, I think basically they are the components. Also, there is another activity they have to do towards the end of the exchange, which is after all their discussions in groups, they have to prepare an action. So they have to related to climate change, and that's, I suppose, quite different from previous exchanges that we used to do with this group, because after interacting and discussing about many areas related to related to the climate action, the students decide maybe to create a social media podcast. I think we had another group that they prepare some videos to show in secondary schools. So a little action to bring awareness about climate change.
So they're taking the virtual exchange outside of the walls of the university and into the community, which I suppose is what virtual exchange should be all about.
Mm-hmm.
How many students are there in the group, and where are they coming from, the partners?
I think in each interaction they have groups of around 10 students. And we have, so our students come from Ireland. We have a lot of Erasmus students also participating in this from our sites. But then the other partners come from many different countries: Germany, Italy, France, Palestine as well. We had, and they were actually quite inspiring students. For at least that's the what my students told us. Also, I think Syria, Lebanon,
Wow.
Tunisia. So the South Mediterranean was quite well represented as well.
Represented.
So
Yeah.
it was quite mixed.
What are their main takeaways? Are there any light bulb moments, or
Yes, for some of them, it was very revealing to know how climate change is lived very differently in different countries,
right?
and how, I suppose, being more, especially in Ireland, for example, there is the effects maybe are not as visible as in other countries, so they realize how it is important that we all work together. And that
Yeah.
was something that they said, that's they need to work together for a better future. They are understanding that this global collaboration is so important.
Yes.
So that was one of the main takeaways. That I have here a quotation of a student testimonial that said that it was quite it transformed the way that this student is seeing the world now, and how important it is to work together with the rest of
Mm.
the world, really.
You mentioned that CLiVEx is embedded into your course, so I can imagine, how was the workload for the students? Was that something that they were able to manage, or did they find that a bit of a challenge?
Well, it's challenging. It's
Is it?
challenging for them, and the fact that they have every week to commit themselves for this 2-hour synchronous session. So we had to adapt a little bit also our own module to be fair in terms of workloads. So some weeks maybe we were not having the lecture to allow them time to prepare for the virtual exchange. So yeah, we had some well, issues, but I mean we just were able to overcome everything. So
Would you do it again? Are you going to do it again?
oh yeah, next autumn we are going to participate again. I suppose because our module is a big module, we have 100 students, so it brings its challenges, but it was really worth it. And they all say they are interacting with people from different cultural backgrounds, and then they are able to see the challenges, but also how enriching is to the intercultural communication.
So I'm hearing that the students are seeing things from different perspectives. So that's opening their minds. What other skills do you think they're taking away from an exchange such as this?
Well, the awareness about climate change, I mean, that's something they are really developing, this sustainable competence. So they see how things, also solutions, and what struck me personally is they've seen, or they've been thinking how important it is to work together.
So Marta, before I let you go and get on with your day, are there any final observations or comments you'd like to say? Maybe something I haven't asked you that you'd like to add about this?
About this change, I suppose for me was seeing how transformative was for the students. Also, we keep banging on about the CDGs all the time, and this exchange we discuss with the students how is connecting the project with the Sustainable Development Goals
Oh,
in
the
terms of
UN sustainability
the UN,
goals,
sorry, the
yes.
CDGs, the UN Sustainable Goals, because talking about climate change, which is a big thing, but also the working together and collaborating to make some changes, and also offering this educational opportunity to all the students that participate. So that's something I discuss with my students to make them aware of the great opportunity that they had participating in the virtual exchange.
Thank you, Marta, for your time today.